So that is how today ended up playing out. At this point, heading into the overnight session, heading into tomorrow, the resistance above is still technically in play. It's still a valid spot. And that larger time frame resistance at 56.5 to 59.5, that's still an area that sellers can step in, and a breakout above that area would confirm buyers in control across multiple time frames, and it would change kind of the intermediate term structure much more so than it already has. On the downside, that high volume node area at roughly 2675 to 2975, that is going to be an important area of support. And if the market is eventually going to head higher, then ideally we'd like to see it holding above today's first hour high even. But worst case scenario, above that high volume node. If we continue holding above the 2675 to 2975 zone, then there's potential for consolidation at these higher prices, and eventually, we may get an upside breakout continuation move. But until we get that breakout above 56.5 to 59.5, we have to still keep that as valid resistance on our chart, right? So basically, if you look at the market over the last few days, we're in this one big trading range or balance area. And the market has gone from the bottom of balance, for the most part, in a straight line towards the top of balance in a single session. Typically, when that happens, you get consolidation or range bound activity or balancing. And then the market kind of decides where it's going next. So if we balance at higher prices, then at least the market would be setting up for a breakout attempt. And if we just completely reject and fail and start heading down and take out this 2775 to 2975 area, or you could even kind of look at it on larger time frame and make this 2475 to 2975, that encompasses today's intraday breakout as well as that high volume node. So as long as this area is holding, things can still be okay. But if this area fails and we start getting a breakdown below it, then it would tell us that the market is still stuck in a range, and then eventually we might head right back down, right? So we still have to be fairly flexible, but holding above 2475 to 2975, balancing up at this area would be a signal of short-term strength. And the fact that every time the market has tried breaking down over the last couple of days, buyers have stepped in force, that's also a fairly bullish indication that this market just can't really manage to go lower despite these news events and trade talks and all this other stuff that's happening, impeachment inquiry and all the stuff that's happening. Despite all that, market can't be held down. So if we continue balancing at these higher prices, then eventually we could get a break to the upside again. But for now, consolidation is expected, and that's also why shorting that 48 area on first test makes a lot of sense, because it's an idea that it's not just an idea that works on the short time frame, or the intraday time frame, but it makes sense on a larger time frame too. And those are generally very good ideas where it makes sense on the day time frame, but even on the larger time frame, there's some logic to that trade.